Senator Barbara Boxer is a Democrat from California, a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, and she joins us now. Senator Boxer, I don't know, what do you make of this? If he's getting out of 10,000 troops coming back this year, 20,000 more next year, that ends the surge, still 70,000 in country. Your thought?
Well, I think that, number one, we're not positive of what he's going to say. It is 3 hours, but I'm going to say that you may have the right information there, and if you do, this is my response. The good news for me tonight is that we're going to see, this longest American war start to come to an end. The news that may not be exactly what I want to hear is that it's going at a slower pace than I think is necessary. Chris, when the president announced the second surge, the first surge was 17,000 troops. I supported him. He said this Afghan war was neglected. We have to catch Osama bin Laden, and I thought he was right. Now that has been done. The second surge, 30,000 troops. That mission must come to an end. And that mission right now is counterinsurgency, which means we have boots on the ground going door to door, almost side by side with the Afghans. It is time for the Afghans to step up to the plate. The president said the 30,000 surge was temporary. If it was temporary, he announced it in December of '09, those 30,000 troops should be brought home by the end of this year, and the mission should change to one of counterterrorism and training the Afghan soldiers, because we've already trained almost 300,000, but they need more training. Look, there's 50 al-Qaeda left. That's according to Leon Panetta. 50 al-Qaeda left in Afghanistan. We don't need all of our troops there now. We need just a small force, about 25,000 as I see it, and we can get down there, according to the experts, to that level of force in 18 months, 12 to 18 months.
If we can survive over there effectively with just a training mission of, say, 25,000 troops, why do we keep 70,000 there for the duration? Why are what do we get done that we couldn't get done just by leaving tomorrow morning? What's getting accomplished over there by a combat mission?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head here. It's a question of what the mission is. You don't just say, I'm going to bring home so many people without putting it to a mission, and that's the question. Right now, it's a counterinsurgency mission. I think it's time to change it so that it's counterterrorism and training the troops and protecting the personnel that we have there. So the experts tell me you can do that with 25,000, and you could do that within 12 to 18 months. But I have to just say, as I reread what our great president said, and listen, we have to give credit where credit is due. I may not agree with everything he says, because I think that 30,000 ought to come home by the end of the year. It was the surge, it was temporary, change the mission, do it. But we have to give credit. This is the commander-in-chief that did finally get Osama bin Laden, and this is the commander-in-chief who is ending the Iraq war. We'll have all our troops gone out of Iraq by the end of this year. So my heart is with the president. I know that he's been really working this through. He has voices on one and another. I hope he's listened to all the voices. But I think at the end of the day, he said the 30,000 would be temporary, and I took him at his word, and I hope that we'll see a quicker calendar than what I think we're going to see.
Senator Boxer, I believe you became an activist in politics, maybe the way a lot of us did because of the war in Vietnam. And isn't it odd to have a Republican like Huntsman to the left of the president on this? Huntsman saying that Afghanistan isn't really the front. It's dealing with the economics of the world, keeping our competitive edge with China, et cetera. What does that make you feel like to have a Republican presidential candidate to to use an old phrase, to your left?
Well, I think it's just great that all of a sudden the Republicans have decided that they don't love every single war. I mean, this is good. And, if it's real, I think it should be embraced. But the fact is, this president knew when he came into office that Afghanistan was neglected. Look, I voted to go after bin Laden, and George Bush turned totally around and went into Iraq and neglected Afghanistan. The president came in, and I think he's done what he said he'd do. He went after bin Laden, he captured him, and he's training these Afghan troops. The thing is, when I hear Karzai say some of the things he says, which is, you're occupiers, you're this, you're that, I think it's time to change that mission and get our troops out of there at a quicker pace.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator Barbara Boxer, member of the Foreign Relations Committee from California.